If we stand together, we'll never fall. We can make a difference and answer the call.
Well, hi there, and welcome back to another episode of the All Around Growth Podcast. Today is Wednesday, March 16th, 2022. This is episode number 306 of a show that provides insight and tools to build the life and homestead of your dreams. My name is Rob Kaiser, and I am your host. Today, we are going to dive into one of the following topics, such as, well, give me one moment. I lost myself here, but we've got shamrocks and the four-leaf clovers. What's the difference? Another article, corned beef and cabbage. Well, let's see briefly what the difference is between shamrocks and four-leaf clovers. All right. So many of us remember hunting for the elusive four-leaf clover as a child, and we've all seen the green shamrock on St. Patrick's Day. But what's the difference? What is a shamrock and what isn't? Oh, I'm having some difficulty seeing some things here down the driveway, so we're just going to pick a topic of shamrocks, four-leaf clovers, corned beef, and cabbage. The first day of spring 2022, the spring equinox, and wisteria. While wisteria is a cool plant, let's talk about the equinox, shall we? We are going to dive right into it. The first day of spring 2022 is the spring equinox. And we're going to celebrate the vernal equinox and the start of spring. In this article, we're going to talk about what is the spring equinox, when is the first day of spring, what does spring equinox mean exactly, what happens on the March equinox, and some frequently asked questions around the equinox. So guys, let's hit the road. Let's dive right into it. It's early this morning. It's just a little bit after 6:30, and I am being consistent with hitting the road earlier than usual. I have adjusted my morning routine. Still get up, still stretch, still cold shower. It's a slightly different routine. Maybe I'll cover that in a future episode, but as the daylight increases and the schedule changes, so does mine. How does your schedule change? Let us know in the group chat, t.me/allaroundgrowth. We have a group chat on Telegram. That is where we are most active on social media. You can also find us on social media on Float, Facebook, and Twitter. But you can engage with the community the most on Telegram. So guys, what is the spring equinox? Well, here in the Northern Hemisphere, the March equinox, aka the spring equinox or the vernal equinox, occurs when the sun crosses the equator line heading north. This event marks the start of the spring season in the northern half of the globe. Okay, so when is the first day of spring? I could sit here and read the article, but again, guys, it's early morning. I'm driving. I don't want to do that. I'd like to remain relatively safe while just glancing down here and there, obtaining facts to share. The first day of spring in 2022 is on Sunday, March 20th at 11:33 a.m. Eastern Time. That'll be kind of nice because we will be having a family dinner. My brother will be spending the night with his two daughters, and later on in the afternoon, Sunday will be the family dinner with Matt's wife and Kate and Luke, and so we will be celebrating spring as a family. a big extended family sharing a meal. No better way to break in the new season and welcome spring than with something like that. There is a spring equinox date and time chart for the next few years, letting us know when the spring equinox is, both in the northern and southern hemisphere, for 2022, 2023, 24, and 25, so you can see that for your reference. The spring equinox is on March 20th every single day for the next 4 years, with the exception of 2024, where it occurs the day prior in the evening. All right, so what does the spring equinox mean exactly? Well, the word equinox comes from the Latin words for equal night. Equus, equal, and nox, day, or night rather. On the equinox, the length of the day and night is nearly equal in all parts of the world. And it is this significant event that marks the transition of the season, and I think that's why it plays such a huge role across cultures, races, religions, sects, denominations, everywhere. It is the natural world. The equinox simply is. There are more graphs and information within this article, and I would encourage you to check out the show notes if you are interested in this or any of the other things that we talked about headed down the driveway. 4-leaf clovers versus shamrocks, corned beef, and such. But there's always a lot of information that comes from the Old Farmer's Almanac, and I would encourage you to check out the show notes if you find any of this interesting at all. So what happens on the equinox? Now, on the March equinox, the sun crosses the celestial equator going south to north. It's called the celestial equator because it's an imaginary line in the sky above the Earth's equator. If you were standing on the equator, the sun would pass directly overhead on its way north. Equinoxes are only 2 times each year that the sun rises due east and sets due west for all of us on Earth. Now, even I'm going to have to revisit this article once I get there and post the show notes, because there's little snippets of information that I wasn't aware of, just like that. So, as we get into closing, here are some frequently asked questions. Like, does spring begin on March 1st or the equinox? Well, both. The answer depends on your definition of spring. Both dates are accurate, and they're just from different perspectives. And there's more information in this article about the astronomical versus meteorological, easy for me to say, differences between how spring is defined. Also, more detail on the question of day and night being equal on the equinox. And the answer is no, but it's quite close. And equal is a very specific and it's a very specific metric, something that we've only been able to measure with that degree of specificity recently. So, yes and no. What other frequently asked questions do we have here? According to folklore, You can stand a raw egg on its end on the equinox. Is this true? This egg folklore became popular in 1945 following a Life article about the spring practice. Now, this would involve me staring at my phone, driving down the road, and I don't want to do that, but this does sound fascinating, and if you want to learn more about this mythology of an egg standing on its end on the equinox, or if you have some experience with this yourself, again, let us know in the group chat, which you can find on your internet browser at t.me/allaroundgrowth. Again, that's t.me/allaroundgrowth. Come join us in the group chat. If you're listening, you are welcome and encouraged. Just don't be a jerk or a troll, because that's not cool. And we don't like that. So come on out. Which day has the most sunlight in North America is another question, which you can find answers to in this article in the show notes. And last but not least, there is a question about how you celebrate the vernal equinox. And real quick in closing, I will share with you how I celebrate the vernal equinox. As you know, if you listen to the show on a regular basis, I engage in the practice of fasting weekly on Tuesday. That is the day I was born. And for the past going on 2 years now, I have engaged in quarterly fasts every solstice and equinox. So I decided last night, that I would extend my Tuesday born day fast into a 72-hour or more extended fast to celebrate the solstice, or the equinox rather, so that I could celebrate the equinox with my family over a meal on the day of the equinox. Oftentimes I will engage in some sort of ceremonial element as well, but for details on that, you'll have to tune in to the group chat at t.me/allaroundgrowth. And with that, guys, that is it for today's episode. I really appreciate you tuning in to the show, and I look forward to catching you with another episode tomorrow. This is Rob Kaiser, and thank you.
Pain, what can I do? The needs are many and answers a few. People turn away and I wonder why. If I can help somebody, then I want to try. People may think that it's odd that I believe in friendship and love, and truth is always the best way to the world that may seem odd. I'm an odd fellow. I'm an odd fellow. I'm an odd fellow. If we stand together, we'll never fall. We can make a difference and answer the call. You know the times are wasting every day, and we can help somebody along the way. People may think that it's odd that I believe in friendship and love. Truth is always the best way to the world that may seem odd. I'm an odd fellow. You're an odd fellow. We're all odd fellows. I'm an odd fellow.